bad and you're for zero government and you hate all the Congress people, why do you have them on your show? Now, this is sophomoric. This is fifth grade level, but it's designed for the dumbed down public that still gets their news from CNN. And I said, that's ridiculous. There are 15 or more people that are good in Congress, but I would interview people I disagree with as well. See, it's this idea that congressmen are coming on the alternative media, because they told me Ron Paul refused to be on this show, their program, and so did other congressmen. And CNN, when we had Gohmert on, attacked him for several weeks off and on Nut of the Week and Kook of the Week, or those different specials they have. What's it called? Wing Nut of the Week, yeah. And again, don't go on Alex's show. Don't give him credibility. Don't. It's the information that has the credibility. These congressmen know where the audience is. And it's so sophomoric when during the campaign they'd ask Ron Paul, why do you go on Alex Jones' show on Fox, CNN, everywhere? They're also trying to, at a primitive level, break us up, thinking that if they don't come on my show, I'm not going to support them. I'd support Ron Paul if he came on the show or not. Ron Paul's been on this show probably close to 100 times the last 14 years. I've been interviewing him every month or month and a half in the last 6-7 years. Before that, 2-3 times a year. I mean, how many times is that? 60 times, 70 times? I don't know. Interviewed him a couple times on video. I mean, it's just sophomoric mind control. Let's finish it up.
Are constitutionalist. I'm not opposed to all government. I'm not an anarchist. And I've had Congress men and women on who I disagree with. So it's ridiculous. I don't say they're all crooks, but the leadership, by and large, are bought and paid for, and many of them are crooks and are doing things that are illegal and unconstitutional. You bet, guys. Take care of yourselves. And let me just add one more thing. I dare you to put this on television. I want to say hi to the little blue blood Anderson Cooper, and I want to say hi. He admittedly was CIA. And I want to ask Anderson, hey, cover why CNN and BBC reported Building 7 fell 25 minutes before it fell with total precision. Oh, you guys announced that little script a little early, didn't you? Oh, yeah, that little Reuters script that MI6 sent on over. Look, the truth's out there, and everybody needs to choose a side. Are you going to be on the side of the murdering military-industrial complex, or are you going to be on the side of the American people? If the government of this country lied to kill over 1 million Iraqis with fake WMDs, do any of us think that any of our lives mean a rat's behind to this establishment? This is real tyranny. We're in trouble. I'm sounding the alarm, just like 1775, 1776. If the redcoats come marching down the road and open fire on the American people, it's their right to defend themselves. But I'm not calling for any offensive actions. I'm calling, like Malcolm X did, for people to be able to protect themselves in this country from scum at CNN. Good job killing those Iraqis with your lies. You take care.
I shouldn't laugh. It's very serious. But they need to be rebuked. They need to be exposed. People need to get in their face for all the things government and media have done, all this corruption and evil. I mean, this is serious, serious business. And CNN is part of it. CNN helps sell all this murder and all this tyranny. The blood is on their hands. They're a dangerous group now setting me up for a big fall. They're coming after me. You understand that? We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I'm going in the next segment to get into all these militia arrests, the bombing in Russia with reported suicide bombers. It looks like false flag as the early indicators and earmarks. The signature of the attack. We are also going to get into the sad murder, and it should be a murder investigation. Former Senator Nancy Schafer in Georgia, who'd come on this show repeatedly and was tracking the CPS involved in kidnapping children for sale. So that is coming up. Towards the end of the broadcast, I'm going to play a clip that's up on prisonplanet.com of a gentleman Friday at one of the Tea Party events with Palin in Arizona, a Ron Paul supporter, And all he reportedly did was start saying, you're not a real conservative. You're not a real conservative. And the Tea Partiers tackle him, slam him to the ground, or jumping on his head, and the police come over and help them. So vigilantism. He didn't resist. They could have told him to leave. These are not real public events. They attack hecklers savagely. Nothing more evil than a Ron Paul supporter who's a real conservative and who's anti-war when the wars are illegal and undeclared and fraudulent. So that's coming up, and I want to play the clip of where George Bush had me arrested, but at least they didn't tackle me or beat me up. They did hurt my arm by twisting it behind my back. I didn't resist. They said, give me your hands, and I went like that and was let out. And they said, okay, we're throwing the book at you, until they got a call. They said, get off the radio, get on cell. And the cop driving me said, the governor says to release him? The governor? George W. Bush at the time was 98. And so, but not for an hour? Oh, you'll call me when to let him go. Okay. That was real nice by Williamson County. They dropped me off on the county line. Luckily, my office was near there at the time. It was up north. But I want to tell this story before I get into the news and then take your calls. Number one, the toll-free number to join us is 1-800-259-9231. The information I'm about to cover is so important that I hope you'll pay attention to it. And I'll try to be as brief as possible, but seeing it and it really coming home to me, the level of matrix-like control we're in. Yesterday, I took my children to the hike and bike trail, all three of them, toddler on my shoulders, the 5 and 7-year-old running in front of me. And we hiked down to one of the innumerable creeks that feed into Bull Creek. And I went to one of the smaller entrances. There were probably only 15, maybe 20 cars parked there. Some of the big points people go to, big entrances to all the hike and bike trails around Austin. A lot of this is hilly areas, so they can't build houses, so they have city hike and bike trails. And it was the control freak nature and how mentally ill and weird and twisted the people were. And I've been going on Austin hike and bike trail since I was 5 years old. We come down here a few times a year, and sitting around Grandma's house, for 4 or 5 days would get boring. My parents took me to hike and bike trails, and since high school, I used to go to these things every day. But things are changing. It's like the Matrix mind control, or maybe I just ran into a particularly bad pack of people. Now, you have to understand, this is gravel path, and they also cut up cedar trees and make like a turf. So it's not rugged at all. There's a few places where there's, stone steps carved into the stone. And we park our car, we start walking, and there's this old lady with her husband walking behind her. And you could tell she wore the pants. And she goes, oh, it's rough down there. I don't know if you should take that baby. And I kind of ignored her, and she said, And then so my kids ran on, and I went on down the path, and then I noticed she was following me and looking at me. And maybe she recognized me, and I'm a thought criminal. And it's like a jailhouse rat or something. And I get down there, and there's one sign that says, please stay off, please stay on the path. In certain areas where they've planted trees or whatever. You'll see one of these signs every 200 yards or so. And so we get down the little creek, and my kids are there dropping rocks in and going, ooh, look, and look, oh, fishy. And I hadn't seen the old woman and her husband stalking me back there for a while because they were leaving, and they turned around and came after us. And this lady comes by with her husband. He's walking behind her. He doesn't talk. She's giving all the orders. And it really hit me. I know the feminist program. I know how it works. But my God, man, it's not all women, but it's certainly these women. We come back. I'm going to finish this story, folks. It gets so weird. It gets weird. And the population is all being dominated. They want to dominate somebody. They want to boss somebody. And I'm telling you, this is one big plantation. You got house slaves everywhere. And I guess they don't like a halfway good-looking man with, great-looking children. And we were all out having a great time, and they were all real quiet. Everybody was real, we're in trouble.
We're on the march.
Okay, so I'm about 5 500 yards down the hike and bike trail. And everyone of like 8-9 groups that came by me were neurotic weirdos. Now, my children in a little stream going into a bigger stream down a little hill are sitting there, and these kids run up, probably 7 and 9, 2 boys, with their mother giving orders and marching around, the husband behind her being real quiet. And she's like, "You're not allowed to get in that water. This is environmentally sensitive." And the kids are screaming, "I hate you, I hate you." And you can tell she's never disciplined them, and they're doing all this weird stuff, and they're like, "Those kids aren't supposed to be in there." But like I'm not there, but saying it to her husband and kids. The husband's not talking. They go on down the path, and you can go down some gravel to a larger stream.